Let me get my... All right, good morning, traders. Today is March 28th, 2024. A warm welcome to all of our open house guests today. My SPY pivot this morning for 2095. Excuse me. My morning SPY pivot is 520.95. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab 5 are in uptrends. SPY, IWM, Diamond Dow all made higher highs and higher lows, closing above the bullish traps over the rising 17 EMAs. FNGU, QQQ made lower highs and lower lows while closing inside the bullish traps over the rising 17 EMAs. GLD, still in an uptrend, made a higher high and a higher low while closing above the bullish trap over the rising 17, while silver, still in an uptrend, had an inside day closing below the bearish trap and above the rising 17 EMA. So that closed between a rising 17 EMA and the bearish trap. USO, still in an uptrend, made a lower high and a lower low, closing over the bullish trap and above the rising 17 EMA. UNG, still in a downtrend, made a new all-time low, closing below the bearish trap and the 17. US dollar index in an uptrend, creeped a little higher to close the day around 104.40 area above the flat 200 SMA. All right, let's go take a look at some charts. All right, so here's SPY's chart for yesterday. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17. Bullish trap is the 3 EMA on top of the 8 EMA. 8 EMA is the white one. 3 EMA is the yellow one. The green dots, or they could be red dots. These are green because we're in an uptrend. All right. The green dots represent the 17 EMA, exponential moving average. All right, so here we are closing over the bullish trap, over a rising 17 EMA. Okay, so SPY, still bullish. All right, let's take a look at, what was the other one I wanted to look at? Let's do IWM. All right, okay, IWM, small caps and mid caps, Russell 2000. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over a rising 17 EMA. All right, almost challenging the all-time highs there. They came within pennies, maybe in the pre-market here. Okay, so there's IWM. Diamond Dow, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap. This is the bullish trap, 3 on top of the 8. All right, over the rising 17 EMA. So you got a bullish stack going on here. Okay, on the daily chart, price, the 3, the 8, and the rising 17 right there. That's a bullish stack. So we got a bullish stack in Diamond Dow. We got a bullish stack in Russell 2000, small caps and mid caps. Okay, and we got a bullish stack in SPY right there. So all we're looking for is 10-minute uptrends, because we got that nice bullish stack going on right now. So there's SPY. Now let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ, lower high, lower low, complete opposite of the other 3. All right, closing inside the bullish trap, but above the rising 17 EMA. Still in an uptrend, QQQ. All right, let's take a look at FNGU. All right, same thing. Lower high, lower low, closing inside the bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. Still in an uptrend. All right, so all of the Fab 5 are still in uptrends. FNGU just knocking on the door here to break out. Okay, so it's got all-time highs. Let's go look and see where all-time highs are for FNGU. Let's just put a line on it right now. Okay, just for kicks, 550. All right, so let's edit that. 50. All right, so we got a little bit of ways to go. We got some room to move before we challenge the all-time high for FNGU. Now, FNGU just changed one of the components. I think they knocked off Twitter and they adopted Snow. And Snow has not been working out too well for them recently, but we'll see what happens. If we look at the monthly chart for FNGU, we made a higher low and we're making a higher high. But you can see right now we're running right into some resistance right there on the monthly chart. So we'll see what happens there. But nevertheless, all of the Fab Five still in uptrends. Let's take a look at our energy. Excuse me. Let's take a look at USO. That's petroleum crude oil. So here's petroleum crude oil. Got a lower high, lower low, but we closed up over the bullish trap over rising 17 EMA. No doubt about it. USO is in an uptrend. Now UNG is doing the opposite. All right, so UNG in a downtrend, lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish trap, below a falling 17 EMA. So what we have here is a bearish stack. You've got price action, a 3 that's underneath the 8, an 8 that's underneath the falling 17. So this is bearish stack going on here. Okay, price 3, 8, 17, all in the bearish formation. Okay, so I would look for 10-minute downtrends on UNG. So UNG printed a new all-time low yesterday while everybody else was challenging their highs. So there's UNG. Let's take a peek at precious metals. Start off with silver. Silver yesterday is lower high, higher low, inside day, closing inside a bearish trap over the rising or flat 17 EMA. Silver still in an uptrend. Not till it breaks this low, and I'm not even so sure that low is going to matter. Okay, so silver still in an uptrend on the daily chart. Okay, gold. All right, ooh, look at that. Some nice morning activity right there. All right, so higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. Gold breaking out to new highs. That's an all-time new high right there for gold this morning so far. So higher low, higher high. You got a bullish stack. Okay, price on top of the 3, on top of the 8, on top of the 17. Okay, that's a bullish stack. And gold in an uptrend. So both precious metals in an uptrend. Let's take a look at our technicals. T2122, you can see yesterday we rocketed out of the buyer's chop zone straight into the buy zone. Well, straight to the overbought zone and produced higher lows through here. And then we meandered our way higher into the overbought zone. So nice work on IWM and the NYSE. All right, so nice work there. We're in the overbought zone. Now, that doesn't mean that it's time to sell necessarily. We'll see what happens. Typically, I make more money when the T2122 is in the overbought zone. It can stay up here for 3, 4, 5 days. All right, doesn't mean that we are actually overbought and you need to start selling now. All right, it can still go much higher. All right, so there's T2122. All right, and by the looks of that, I got to say T2123 is probably all green. Yep, okay, so here's T2123, all green here, started out, gap up, and just melted up all day until the end of the day, and then it just blasted off. Right there. So that was like winding up to break out. So there's T2123. Started out green, ended green. 3-bar chart. Okay, we're getting close to those all-time highs right there. All right, so we got a bull flag going on. So here's a bull flag. Consolidate over to the right. Now you can see us starting to break out. So there's T2123, 3-bar. Notice from the price action up here down to here, whole lot of space opening up between the 17 EMA and the price action. So we're headed off to these highs up here, T21.23. FNGU, different story. We came down for FNGU, and we just kind of got trapped underneath this rising 200 SMA on the 15-minute chart. Okay, then we finally had a breakout at the end of the day after failing to make a lower low right here. See how we failed to make lower lows? And then from there, I guess we're going to go back up and challenge these highs, the most recent highs. So we'll see what happens. So they failed to make a lower low and then made, guess what, a higher high right there. So here you can see here's a high, failed to make a lower low here, because here's a lower low, failed a lower high, excuse me. There's a lower high, failed to make a lower low. So guess what happens? We make a higher high, and then we make another higher low, and now we make another higher high. So FNGU winding its way back up. So that's FNGU on the 15-minute chart. Okay, what do I want to look at? Let's take a peek at US dollar index. All right, so here's our uptrend that started back in January, basically the end of December, uptrend. Then we had a downtrend for probably about a month there. And now we just broke that lower high right there. So now US dollar index in an uptrend. Now, dollar index being in an uptrend is not really a good thing, because that's the conversion rate for what it costs foreign companies to buy our goods and services. So a high dollar index oftentimes reflects in GDP. Speaking of GDP, we're going to get a report on that today. All right, so it makes it more expensive for foreign countries to buy our goods and services, and it makes us less competitive against some of the other foreign nations. So we don't want a strong dollar. We want a weak dollar, just like the Chinese have. It's better for us because we can sell our goods and services much easier than we could if we had a strong dollar. So right now, dollar's moving back up to the most recent highs up here. So we don't want a strong dollar, but that's what we're getting. Okay, so that's it for the US dollar. Max pain for today is 518, just changed. We have 4.5 puts that expire today for every call. Okay, so 4.5 puts for every call. That's could see a short squeeze. All right, when you got 4.5 puts, we'll see what happens. Today is options expiration Thursday, because Friday we're going to be closed. All right, so it should be an interesting day. Earnings calendar, nothing notable really going on. There may be some familiar names, but nothing really notable here that's going to move the markets for today. And we'll take a peek at tomorrow. We're going to be closed. Nothing notable tomorrow. Might be some familiar names right there, but nothing notable tomorrow, and nothing notable Monday. Boy, this thing's moving slow this morning again. All right, so for the economic calendar, all right, yesterday we had the petroleum report. Christopher Waller spoke at 6 p.m. This morning at 8:30, in exactly probably 16 minutes, we're going to get GDP. GDP measures how much money the United States takes in from foreign countries. Typically, anything over 3 is good. Okay, we have been putting in better than 3, but anything over 3 is good for the president. And he's been having a wonderful year last year, as well as a wonderful year this year as far as GDP goes. So that's awesome. And GDP should come in pretty good. I don't see it having much effect. We didn't have a problem with getting raw materials and I don't see the dollar as being a big problem. But we're going to get some GDP numbers at 8:30. I think it should come in over 3. Jobless claims also coming in at 8:30 as well. Chicago PMI 945. Consumer sentiment at 10. Pending home sales at 10. And then we're going to get our, as always, natural gas report at 10:30. And that's it for the rest of the day. We got another index down here, but nothing really market moving. Tomorrow, the markets are closed, okay? But we're going to get our international trade in goods at 8:30, personal income and outlays, 8:30, and Mr. Powell's going to speak at 11 a.m. Nothing we can do about it. The markets will be closed. I don't expect there to be a whole lot of impact other than some probably good news. I don't think anything's changed since they've announced the FOMC statement back a week ago. So it should be just more of the same. There's no new data unless GDP comes in like kind of way out of whack, and I don't expect it to. So I think we're going to get more of the same as what we have been. I don't see any reason to mess up the uptrend, other than some just profit taking at the magic number of 520. We'll see what happens. All right, so we're up around 522, 523 this morning. All right, so I'm going to take questions in the room. All right, and after the questions, I'm going to render my video and get that posted. Okay. All right, so first question. I think Ed answered that one.